This is Mellissa Thomas for Florida National News. We are here at the Wyndham Destinations headquarters, which is based just off of International Drive. We're here to hear Governor Rick Scott's November jobs numbers here. The significance of this location is that it opened back on June 1st. They relocated here to basically bring more jobs to the area per the agreement between Governor Scott and, of course, Visit Orlando and the different economic organizations here. But they have successfully added 200 jobs, and Governor Scott will be discussing that in his address as well. So stay tuned right here at FloridaNationalNews.com as we bring you his job numbers announcement.
It's exciting to be here at Wyndham Destinations. This company had the opportunity to be here the day that they announced that they're going to move their corporate offices to Florida from New Jersey. And they announced that day that they're going to add 200 jobs, and they're in the process of doing that. It's a great company. I want to thank them for all the jobs they have in Florida, but also want to thank them for taking care of their employees. They had some employees that lost their homes during Hurricane Michael, and they immediately took care of them, and that's what great companies do. So I'm excited that they're here. I'm excited that they're expanding, and I'm excited that they're another great company that takes care of their employees. Today we had the opportunity, this will be my last announcement as governor as far as jobs, and it was another good month, the month of November. 23,000 more jobs in our state, so 23,000 more families get a job. Unemployment is down to 3.3%. Now we're close to 1.7 million jobs, so I'm excited about companies like Wyndham and others, and we had some of the companies here that we've worked with, B. Braun, American Tours, NBC Golf Channel, that have also expanded here in this part of the state. I'm excited that all those companies are prospering and adding more jobs. So our job growth rate's really good. So I look forward now going to D.C. and trying to take some of the things we've done here in Florida, reducing debt, balancing a budget, passing a budget, some of those things, and hopefully we'll get the same thing done in D.C.
And the leadership the governor has provided the state for the last 8 years has just been incredible, and it's wonderful to have been by his side for the last 6 years and be able to really talk about how great Florida is, how great our economy is, and it's because of his laser focus on jobs and job creation. So thank you, Governor, for everything you've done, and we're looking forward to seeing you up in D.C.
I'd just say briefly that Wyndham Destinations, it was always the right place for us to be in Florida and in Central Florida. Our industry is headquartered here in Central Florida. We generate taxes and jobs for the region, and when it came time for us to make the decision about where we wanted to be, it was the right decision and an easy decision to move here on June the 1st. Not only is it the home of hospitality and tourism around the world and in the United States, but the infrastructure that's being built here in Orlando, which we get to experience every day, that's soon coming to a great both airport and traffic highway system. It's going to be the right place for tourists to continue to come, but also the diverse and rich labor pool that's here provides great opportunities for us at all levels of our organization to create jobs and fill those jobs like we've done here this year.
Governor, I know you mentioned about the shutdown, the potential shutdown, and what's going on with the budget. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on in Washington?
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, everybody needs to do their job. Whether it's the executive branch or the legislative branch, you need to balance a budget. You need to have a budget. You need to, do the things that you got elected to do, and that's how people get a job. Have a secure border. Make sure we have a good education system. Go do your job. And if you don't pass a budget, you shouldn't get paid. It's one of the things I talked about. If you don't do your job, I mean, they don't pay you, right? So these people aren't doing their job. They shouldn't get paid.
Absolutely. And how do you feel that the shutdown will directly affect Florida? I know you're transitioning out, but I know you're very attached to the state.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful that it won't have, an impact, but it always does. I mean, the biggest impact it has is the individuals that work for government expect to get paid, and they're not going to get paid. They'll be sitting there figuring out what's going to happen to them going forward. So, great companies have to have a budget. Great companies have to plan. They know when this is going to happen. If Michael couldn't do a budget and follow a budget, he's not going to keep his job, and he for sure wouldn't get paid. So we should all have exact same expectations out of Washington.
Mixed feelings about leaving Florida, going to D.C.?
I love this state. By the way, being governor has been a great job. You get to, whether it's helping people get a job or helping their kids get a good education, or trying to keep people safe, it's just been an outstanding job. I'm excited to go there. It will be colder. I went up there first part of December, and it was 40 degrees different. So I said to my wife, I said, this is really cold. I don't like the cold. She said, you tried pretty hard to get this job. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I've got my committee assignments to start. I've got armed services, commerce, homeland security, aging, and budget. And so I think all those are important to the state. So I'll work hard. I've tried to work hard as a governor. I'll work hard as a senator, and try to get good things done for our state. But it's I've enjoyed being governor. It's been fun.
You want to take one more question? Of all the things you just listed, because that's a lot of responsibilities, but what is the thing you want to do day one?
I think still the biggest thing you got to do is, if you just think about your family and any family, you got to be able to support yourself. So you got to think about, how do we create an economy that people can support themselves. If you do, actually, like in Florida, the fact that we've added this almost 1.7 million jobs, our revenues in the state have skyrocketed. The fact that we put the money in and for tourism, to get more tourists here, we've had almost a 50% increase in tourism. All right, and I mean, that's a lot of jobs. It's 1.4 million jobs now in the state in tourism, but it's also a lot of tax revenues that we can dramatically put more money into education, into environment, into transportation, and which we're doing.
National news, as we heard from Governor Rick Scott today, they have added 23,000 jobs this past November to the state of Florida. He was very proud of that, pretty much beaming today during his press conference and interviews. And as, again, we heard from Wyndham Destinations, they've added 200 jobs of their own when they relocated here in June. So Governor Scott was definitely proud of that. Another interesting statistic that he offered in his announcement, Governor Scott announced that the K through 12 graduation rate has risen to 86.1%, and unemployment has dropped down to 3.3%. So stay tuned right here at FloridaNationalNews.com for our continuing politics and power coverage. This is Mellissa Thomas coming to you from Orlando.